Hi everybody, we're gonna make a little bag today. Or we're gonna try anyway. So I wanted to show you these little pins. They're called flathead pins. I'm gonna put a link for them in the description. And they're great because you can lay your ruler right on top of them and you can still cut. So I thought I'd show you those. I found in my cleaning some pre-quilted fabric, and I thought today I would use it up and make a little bag out of it. I really don't know what they measure. I just started cutting. It's about 7 by 8. So I cut that. I cut the lining to match. Even though it is pretty on the other side, I wanted something that you wouldn't see all the raw edges too. So you could really use either side as your bag. And then I have my zipper. So I had the machine set up already to sew my zipper together, but I wanted to, I should move this back here a little bit. I wanted to show you how I lay it out. So I'm going to make this the right side of the fabric. And then here is my zipper. And it's an extra long zipper. I buy extra long ones because I never really know what I'm going to do with them. So I figured it's just safer to do it this way. Okay, so when you have your pieces together, you want to, once you figure out which right side you want to do, sometimes the fabric tells you. This one, it doesn't really make any difference. You're going to put your piece here and you're going to take your zipper. Make sure you open it. Don't leave it closed. I've done that too many times and ruined a lot of pieces. And then pick wherever you want it to go. And you want to put it upside down. Well, I do it upside down. And then you want to do it, this is the right side of the zipper. You want to do it with the wrong side facing you, and then the opposite end. It looks weird when you do it. It looks like you're doing it wrong. And then you're going to lay it down so that the teeth are pointing towards the bottom of the bag this way. And then you can pin it. You can put fancy clips on it, however you want to do it to get it into that position. I have regular pins that you can put in there and put over it and do it like that. Or I have these little guys that everybody loves on the internet today. And that's these little clips. They're like little, where's the camera? There's like little laundry clips. So you can put those on. That way, if you're like me, you're not stabbing yourself with it. And if you're using something that's pre-quilted like I am, this piece at the bottom, they're going to save you from getting stabbed with it, because the pins are kind of on the thick side, or the fabric rather is on the thick side, so it's easier to use these. I'll have a link for these in the description as well. All right, once you have it set and ready to go, you want to make sure that you have your zipper foot on, and you want to make sure that the piece, the needle is all the way closest to the teeth, all the way over. So I'm going to see if I can't move mine and without knocking anything over, show you how I've moved it that way. Let's see if I can't move everything. It's a learning process, guys. Let me see if I can't do it this way so that you can actually see what I'm doing. All right, so now I have the zipper right here, and I'm just going to hopefully start sewing. Now I'm not going to sew over my pins, so don't have a heart attack. You want to get your foot really close to the teeth of the zipper. And I'm going to just double check and make sure my ends are even. So right down to the end. Then when you take it out, move this back, you have your teeth right here. And then you can top stitch it down. But before I do that, I'm going to work on the other side and have it the same way over here so that I have the pieces together, and I have the zipper in the right direction. Okay, once you get this side pretty much where you want it, we'll top stitch it down in a minute. I want to put the other side of the zipper on while I have the zipper foot on. You're going to layer it in the opposite direction. Your zipper, let me get this out of my way, is laying flat back here, and then you're going to put the other part of your front of your little bag facing you. The teeth have to again go down towards the bottom, and then this is the right side of the lining fabric. All right, so now I'm going to hopefully leave my needle in the same position. Let's see if I can get this turned around and not have it collapse on me. All right, that seems to work. And then I've measured it so that it's in the right place. I'm going to keep my why is this like that? I don't want it blurry on you guys, and you're going to be able to see anything. And then my foot, well, it's still kind of blurry in it. Let's see if that works better. Thanks for being patient while I'm trying to figure this all out. All right, and now I'm just going to sew. Here's the teeth of my zipper, and we're just going to stitch it down. And let's see what we got here. Let's flatten that out. Okay, so there we go. I have that done. Let's give me some room to work here. And now I have my two pieces, and I'm famous for not ever putting the zipper in the right place, meaning I've put these where I couldn't close them before. So let's see if I can't get this to go right. Oh, my pieces working together here. Because if you don't close this zipper when you try to change things up, oh, it's a little wonky, but that's okay. I can cut it. It's not a big deal. This isn't, you know, a big deal if it's off. If you're making something and you want it to be perfect, then by all means, but when I cut it, I'm just going to cut it here and just take a little bit off this side and take a little bit off the bottom side. This is just a practice piece. It's not, you know, anything I'm making to be perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and not cut, but I'm going to go ahead and stitch this down, but I'm going to change my feet or my foot and get this zipper foot off of here, and I'm going to put this back on. And now, because I only have a center hole here, I go back and put my center hole on and extend my stitch, and I'm not turning it just yet, so we're going to pull all of these pieces so that it's tight. You want to be able to have as flat a seam here as you can get. And I'll just keep pulling the top and the bottom so that when I top stitch, it's going to lay as flat as I need it to lay. And there's a lot of threads hanging. I'll cut those eventually. Okay, but here it is. Here's my top stitch. It's nice and flat. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. Okay, so I trimmed my bag. I got everything all nice and evened up. Now what I did was, here's the bag so that you can see it. It's this way. And my zipper, the important part of the zipper is here. I did cut off the end here. I don't need it, and I cut the end off up here. I don't need that either, because when you sew, and you're going to sew this down here in a minute, when you sew this, this is going to lock this part of the zipper, so it's not going to unravel on you. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it so that my two main bag pieces are together. And again, if you are so inclined and you want to pin things or clip things, feel free. You can clip more than I do. I don't even really, if I wasn't making the video, I probably wouldn't even pin it, but I will be proper for the video. and do that. And then you want to do it here as well, making sure your ends meet. And you're going to leave an opening because we have to leave an opening so we can turn this thing, because this is really the wrong side facing us. So what I'm going to do is, since these are side seams here, I'm going to leave an opening down here at the bottom, excess threads, and I'm going to make sure my two ends are over here. We're good to go, and I'll leave an opening, I don't know, about 2 or 3 inches, okay, as I'm stitching. So I need to be able to turn it, remember. So here we go. I'll do this super quick. You want to back stitch because you are going to be turning this, and you want to make sure that as you're pulling on it, it's not going to open. I'm using a roughly 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 inch stitch seam. I want to make sure that my pieces here are nice and flat, because this is the end of my zipper down here. So I'm going to go over, and it's a nylon zipper. So you can sew over a nylon zipper. You can't sew over a metal zipper, a zipper that has metal teeth. I'm going to come down here, stop with my foot down and my needle down so that I can turn it to make sure my edges are even. And off we go. One more. And then we'll do this side. If you feel you need to backstitch over that because that's the zipper, feel free. I've been doing this for a number of years and I've never felt the need to have to do that. So, alright, put another little end piece here. Okay, now comes the fun part. I have this other little tool. It's called a ballpoint bodkin. It has a ballpoint on one end and it has a feeder on the other. So if you're putting elastic in or something, this makes it a lot easier to use than a safety pin. Although I will tell you that one of the tricks I have, and see if I have it here, I don't have one, is I've actually used a safety pin on this end just to make it longer so that I can find it as I'm stitching elastic through, because I can't ever find elastic or when it's on a safety pin. All right, so now I'm going to trim this up, and I'll show you what we're going to use that for in a second. You want to make sure that you're trimming the corners so that I can turn it and have a nice point to it. And also you want to trim, where'd the other end go? You want to trim some of this excess fabric. Let me grab my big scissors here. And you want to make it, you don't have to trim all of it, but you want to get it as close to that corner as you can so that the corner lays nice and flat. And you want to do this side. And usually my thread cutters work pretty good, but I have to go over to the quilted side, and that's a little bit harder. Let's see. Clip it right there on the corner. And then you want to get it as close to the stitching as you possibly can without cutting, obviously, into your stitches. And you can actually trim this whole seam if you so desire. It's hard to see, I know, on camera with the blue thread, so oops, not quite a bit there. So there's that, and then I'm just going to trim a little bit off this side. Okay, clean up my mess. All right, now the fun begins. I'll turn the camera a little bit. So now what I have to do is I have to turn all of this through this little bitty hole right here. And you see these people do it on TV, and they're like, oh, it's so easy. Yeah, well, not really. Because remember, you have your zipper in here, so you have to open the zipper all the way through. And then the smart way to do it is pull it up from the bottom like you're turning the sock inside out. And then there you have it. There's your bag. Well, part of your bag anyway. And then I'm so in the habit of doing everything with my fingers, I forget I have this little dude right here. So you want to stick him in the end, and you want to use the ballpoint part first to pull it out and to poke it through. And it should poke up pretty nice. And we have a nice little piece here. Because this is a thick piece, you also want to make sure that you've caught all of the seams in it. And look at that. I didn't do too bad a job matching it. I forgot that I was supposed to do that. Oh well. All right, so now my bag is pretty much done. I have to put it in there, and we'll do this one so that I have it. All right, now I have this piece. I mean, you can get fancy and iron it, but I'm lazy and I'm dealing with this camera in front of me, so that ain't happening. So we're going to come back to this little guy, and I'm going to stitch this seam up right here. And that's our turning seam, so I like to get as close, oops, sorry. I like to get as close to the edge as I can, so I know I'm catching all the pieces. Okay, and then we'll cut this. And I'll put that there. And then now, I will put this back inside. Now, it's a longer bag than I was intending. I probably should have put the zipper this way, but that's okay. Lesson learned. If you wanted to kind of square this off a bit, you could turn it back right sides together, and you could take your piece here. And I'm terrible about measuring things. I'm really awful about it. I know I probably should, but I don't. And what you could do is you could square it off like this, and you can, whoops. Oh, this little setup I have isn't the greatest. But you could go ahead and stitch it here, and it would stand up a little bit better. Like I said, if you want to measure it, go right ahead. I'm not going to, because it's going to take more time on this video. And what I'm going to do is just lay it. Let's see if I can get this crazy thing right. I almost need a cameraman in here. All right, and then I'm just going to lay it out, and I'm going to use the numbers on my machine right here. I have a 10, so I'm going to put this here at the 10, and I'm just going to start stitching. I am going to go back and forth on it a few times. Okay, and that's that. And then we'll clip the threads. So I didn't stitch much. It's like maybe 3/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to get the other one in the same position and do the same thing. I'm going to use the tip of the piece to my number 10 line here. And off we go. And I just broke a needle, which is why you shouldn't do things the way I do it. So yeah, okay. Well, the video's over now. Ha ha ha. And only because I got it to the very hard part right here. I wasn't paying attention. So let me change this, and I'll show you the end. Okay. Crisis averted. I changed it. I've stitched it. Now I'm going to pop it back out so that you can see it. I really don't have a lot of room here. All right. So there's the one end. And there's the other end, and here is my top, and there's my little bag. Now, if I wanted to, I could have trimmed these and pulled these out a bit, but I don't know, kind of funky looking. I like it. It's weird, and it's different, and I'll probably sell it at a craft show for like $5 just to cover the cost of the zipper. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You could, pop these out if you wanted to before you closed it up. But I like the curved edge. It's super thick up here because of the zipper ends to it. So cutting it and pulling them out would be kind of a pain. But this is the end of the zipper, and it's kind of buried in there. So, it's good enough for putting some stuff in. My whole hand fits in there. So, pretty decent. All right. It's not a great bag. It's a cute little bag. It's something that, if you need something quick, I had these pieces just laying around. So just to show you that you don't have to go buy fancy stuff. Whatever you got laying around the house will work. It's a blue zipper on a yellow piece, but it works because there's blue in here. So I'm going to make a couple more today, and I'll pop a quick short video up and show them to you later. Hope you like it.